Panera Bread trading sharply higher this morning after reporting better than expected second quarter earnings and issuing a strong full-year forecast. Here for a CNBC exclusive is Ron Shaich, co-CEO, founder, executive chairman of Panera Bread. Okay, Ron, we heard from Chipotle last week. They said, listen, pricing, it's very, very tough right now because people don't want to pay up. We have heard from Buffalo Wild Wings. They're very worried about pricing. They don't want to pay up. I look at Panera. People paying up. Nothing's changed, right? It's just business as usual.
Hey, Jim, a great quarter, up 27%. Comp store sales up 7.1%. So you can look at what people are doing at Panera. That tells you our answer.
But your price is a little bit higher than other guys. Listen, hey, I was on this McDonald's call this week, wanted to slit my wrist. I mean, there was just no doubt about it. They're talking about it can't just be a value meal. It's got to be a super-duper value meal. You're not cutting price.
Well, it's really who our customer is. You know, you had somebody on earlier on natural foods. Our customer is willing to pay a bit for something that's significantly better. It's the quality of the food, the quality of the environment, the quality of the people, the totality of the experience. You know it, Jim.
No, hey, look, I know you because Ron knows I go there all the time. But okay, Ron, it's true. My daughters love it because they're vegetarians. Ron, people all worried about commodity costs. Again, I have Buffalo Wild Wings on tonight. Just a massive commodity problem. I go through every single line. I parse through your whole release. There's nothing here about how horrible commodity prices are for you.
Well, first off, we're fairly diversified. There's no single commodity that dominates us. And secondly, we're bought ahead. And so we are out 2, 3, 4 quarters depending on the commodity. For example, wheat, which people are talking about, we absorbed the impact of wheat in the second quarter. We had fairly significant inflation there. It's now moderating on a year-over-year basis. So I think it's fair to say that we don't believe inflation and commodity costs are fundamental to the Panera story going forward. We have the capability to take price as appropriate.
At the same time, Ron, can you give us a picture of your sort of commodity push-pulls? Because you mentioned and alluded to the fact that you're hedged to some extent. How far out does that go? Because I'm wondering if the next round of hedging will bring you to higher costs. And also, can you talk about coffee in the mix? Because the coffee price is coming down. That's giving you a little bit of leeway. So give us a better picture of your commodity portfolio.
Well, we're bought out 2 to 4 quarters ahead generally. We ladder it in, so we're buying in relatively small amounts, but we're continuing to buy ahead, so we have the capability to have visibility about where inflation or deflation is headed. The important thing for us, we have the ability to adjust our prices. We just need to have enough time. That's why our laddering approach has been so powerful for us. We do not think it becomes a material factor in the Panera story because of that laddering approach. The important you asked about is probably corn, because corn drives everything else, and corn affects the protein costs, much more important than anything. And again, we feel forward bought, so we're in good shape.
Hey, Ron, the stock was down. I mean, you had a Piper Jaffray guy going to sell, telling everybody in the world it was going to be a big disappointing quarter. You know, I was surprised you didn't buy back that many shares, despite the fact that the stock has had a tepid quarter, not the company, but the stock.
Yeah, well, obviously our board does not react to an individual analyst. We operate by policy. We set policy well in advance relative to the buyback, and we've continued to do it. We've had a $600 million authorization in place now for several years. We bought back half of that authorization, and you can continue to expect our board to be disciplined, but to continue to activate that authorization.
On the blended numbers that you've got, 7.1% company-owned, 4.8% franchise, how are we feeling about that disparity between the two?
Yeah, you know, it bounces around. Over time, the franchisees have been ahead of the company. At other points, the company's been ahead of the franchisees. I think what I would say to you is probably it's indicative of the fact that we're doing a lot more of the testing. And in some ways, our hope and desire that as these things work in the company stores, we'll see it bounce into the franchise stores.
And just talk about new units, because a lot of companies are slowing down their new units because they're so unsure, whether it be fiscal cliff, whether it be the gloom in the headlines. Just trying to relate Panera, the company, to Panera, the Weltschmerz of this country right now.
Sure. Well, you know, Jim, we're contrarian. When the boom days were happening, we pulled back on our growth. When the recession hit, we boosted our growth significantly. We've continued to expand. We've continued to grow very dramatically. More importantly, the brand is what amazes us. We have been opening with higher average unit volumes as we go. Over the last several years, this quarter was a new high for us in average unit volumes and the productivity of new stores. We think it speaks volumes for the strength of the concept, the relevancy of the concept, and the development opportunities that exist for Panera.
One other question. I know Buffalo Wild Wings just the other day put up the calorie count. I like you guys who's got the 417 calories, you know, in the Asian salad. But what is it meant to have calorie count versus, you know, Mayor Bloomberg talking about, listen, we got to be really careful now when we go out to eat, versus McDonald's even featuring the fact that the Egg McMuffin's only about 300.
Yeah, well, you know, Jim, we were the first people to post calorie counts nationally among any restaurant chain. We were really the first people to put antibiotic-free, all-natural chicken on the menu. We have been there and we have done it. And I think that what it's all about is that it's about building trust. This idea that consumers are somehow don't get it, they're going to do things that aren't in their interest, it doesn't make sense. Panera is about building trust with its consumers. Whenever we've done it, it's worked well for us. It continues to work well for us. The impact is people move around the menu a little bit, but ultimately they have greater trust in Panera.
Ron, it's just a great quarter. What can I say? Ron Shaich, he's chairman, co-CEO of Panera. Remarkable quarter, really did kind of fool people. Great job.